You know, you told me you found you didn't know you were going to be able to have any children.
No.
So when did foster? Did you foster first, or walk me through that?
Yeah, we had been married 12 years with no children.
Okay.
So, and then in 3 months we had 6 kids under the age of 4, 3 in diapers.
Yeah. And these were all foster?
All foster.
Okay.
They told us from the get-go that the first 6 that we had that they probably would not all come up for adoption. So we just fostered, and about 2.5 years into fostering them, they all came up for adoption at once.
I had people tell me, it's like, well, why adopt them? And I was like, you raise them for a year or two, they're automatically parent, or you're automatically family, and you love them to death. You can't just string them along. Everybody wants to have a family, so.
I was actually working up here at the school. I used to substitute for their school nurse, and I was their school nurse one day, and we just closed our house, finished our last adoption, and it was Chanel and Darryl's, and DHS called me at work and asked me that they said that Darryl and Chanel's biological mom, she had had a baby and they were taking it from the hospital, and that we were the closest thing to kin that he had, and asked us if we wanted him to. And I said, well, we have closed our house, and she said, well, we'll do a fast-tracked adoption. So I called my husband from work.
Yep.
And so that's how
Honey,
number 7 came
honey,
along.
I'm coming home and I'm bringing a kid with me.
Yeah, pretty much. I thought she was joking. I said, well, you can have another one if I get a new truck. Well, I still ain't got that truck.
So when did you find out you were going to have one on your own?
That was, 4 years later.
4 years later.
4 years later, I thought I had the flu, and it didn't go away. So we were kind of the
How
joke.
old is that flu now?
Well, he is now 8. Yeah.
He's 8, fixing to be
Almost
9
9.
in
Wow.
November.
So here you have Darryl, but you have one more. Did have 2 at one
Yes.
time. Now one of his teammates, friends, classmates.
Yes.
That has been living with you.
Yes, we've had Bruce since school closed down in March.
So, advice to adoptive parents out there.
Advice, goodness, pray a lot. Never give up on them. I mean, sometimes it just takes that one person to believe in somebody. And even if they're at their worst, never quit. Never give up.
Coach, how long have you been here at Cedarville?
I'm starting my 5th year as a head coach. So neat thing about Darryl, I got to coach him as a 7th grader. That was my first year as a head coach, was when those guys were in 7th grade. Unique thing about being at Cedarville, I'm the head coach 7th through 12th. So I've been their head coach and Darryl's head coach since he was in 7th grade.
Did Coach early on, could you sense he had a chance to be pretty special?
Yes, he's so competitive. That's the thing. Everything he does, he plays 4 sports. He's a great basketball player. Got to coach him in baseball. He does track when he has time. He's so competitive, and that's what very few kids are that way. And he's got the natural talent, but the competitiveness, you see it everywhere. You see it in the weight room. You see it in practice. You see it everywhere.
What do you think maybe is the thing that he does the best, other than having a competitive spirit? What on the field does he do better than anything else?
He's very coachable too. It's one of those things I can kind of just say, hey, I need you to do this, and real subtly, and then all of a sudden he's going to do it. I talk about Friday night, we're saying, hey, this defense, I need you to dip in and then dip out, and that was his first touchdown. He did exactly what I told him to do. He's got great vision for a back. I know he probably doesn't know who Walter Payton is, but man, I love that guy, and he runs a lot like him. He's going to lower the shoulder. He's going to fight for every yard he has. He's just a great one to coach.
Kind of a kid that kind of burst on the scene a little bit last year. Nobody knew much about it. Could you kind of see his confidence level pick up game after game?
Yes, and then I see so much difference starting this football season. It kind of carried over, like you said. He kind of found out that he can do this thing in high school football and be elite.
Coach, is he going to play any defense for you, or is he just an
No, he's just as important on defense. Okay. He's an outside linebacker. Same thing. He's going to be around the ball. He's very coachable. He's going to do what you ask. I mean, he's just as important on defense.
Coach, I know you coached before you were head coach here. You coached for a while. Is he the best that you've coached or been around? Or
Oh yeah, at that position, I got lucky when I was at Prairie Grove as an assistant. I got to see Dylan Sainer, who's at Iowa State, as a sophomore. Different position. I got to be assistant coach around Jalen Beeks there. So I got to see that type of talent. But as far as a back, he's the best I've coached.
I was adopted at a very young age. My mom and my dad adopted me when I was probably about 3 weeks old, I'd say.
3 weeks old?
Yeah, 3 weeks.
Gotcha.
And I've just been living with them, just grew up with them. They got me in sports, doing all the stuff I do. Because they've always been around sports and everything. My sister, she's done AAU basketball her whole life basically, and so she basically got me into that. And so they already knew what to do with everything with her because she was doing that. So I just got into AAU really heavy, and just.
You have some older brothers and sisters already?
Yeah, I have 2 brothers that are in the military right now as Marines, and then my other brother, he just moved to Texas, and he's working as a mechanic, I think.
Wow, what was it like growing up in a family that large? Because after you and your sister, it didn't stop there. You just kept growing and growing.
Yeah, definitely. It was definitely crazy, having 8 kids in the house. It really helped me just play fight and everything. It makes you tough.
How did you find time to find any peace with that many people in the house? I mean, it must be.
Well, it's loud always. I just try to lock myself in my bedroom sometimes.
Can you imagine growing up in a being only child or small number or whatever?
No, I couldn't imagine it. I mean,
walk me through what it's like. What is it like at dinner time at your house?
Definitely crazy. Hands everywhere. Just I don't know. It's a mess.
What happens if you're the last one to the table?
Probably no food left. No food.
Did that help you with your speed? Any trying to get to?
Yeah. As soon as my mom says it, I'm in there. I'm the first one in there.
You're there. I know. You got a younger brother?
Yeah, I have 2 younger brothers, Dakota and Grayson. And
Darryl, what do you hope that you could maybe teach them? What can they learn from you? What kind of example you try to set for them?
I try to set, just working hard. That gets you furthest. Past anything. Being athletic can only take you so far. Just working hard. I just want him to work as hard as I do and hopefully be better than me someday.
Being black, do you catch much flack or anything at school? You said anything that's a thing with you, Black Lives Matter, anything like that? Is that something you keep up with or know that much about?
I know a lot about it, but I don't really keep up with it that much. I don't know. Just it's there and everything.
Have you ever had any kind of an issue or anything with it?
I mean, yeah, around school, yeah. I mean, I hear it all the time. It's just part of it. I mean, there's nothing really you can do about it.
How do you kind of stay in control?
I just think about football and how I can't do anything stupid at school, I just think about football, and they're not going to help me when I'm out of high school. They're not going to be helping me make money and do things I got to do to be successful in high school, so I just got to just keep on with football.
If you could change one thing, what would you change in this world?
Probably the hate. There's a lot of hate going on around for no reason. But that definitely needs to change. That's what I would change.